Today, I want to talk about something that is really, really concerning, and that is because of the amount of stories where they call my platform and the amount of stories where they come for Precious live stream as well, because I frequent there every day. And it's really concerning and it's alarming. It's pandemic, the rate of single mothers we'll get today. And the reason I have Precious here is that it's not that she's a single mother, but she get experience. She's a woman. Like I always tell you guys, a man might not completely understand what women go through, but women will understand. And the reason I get Mazi here is because I want to hear from a man's perspective. And as a father that he is, he's going to be bringing different from he's going to be come from a different perspective. But before I start from that, to be honest, Precious, I will start from you, ladies first. I don't want you to filter anything. Say it the way it is. Sometimes we need to hear things just the way it is. Okay. Now, as a woman who know a lot of women, we other women they run to sometimes, can you tell us the reality and challenges where a lot of single mothers they face? And be saying it in a way that those will not be single mother should be aware the reality they might face if it happens.
Okay, thank you so much, Udo Kiwi, for having me. I am excited to be here. I see you all from Precious Life Affairs, and it is a privilege to be here. So, I will be talking about the reality of single motherhood. And so, when we talk about single motherhood, we're not just, we're not taking away fatherhood because we do have single fatherhood. But I think particularly this topic is about the reality of single motherhood. A lot of single mothers are strong women. They act so strong, but I want to tell you that it can be very exhausting. It can be very lonely sometimes, stressful. Sometimes it could be beautiful. You could laugh, you could cry at the same time. As a matter of truth, I won't even be going too far because before I joined your program, I already had two people who shared their single um, motherhood journey with us. First, I need you guys to acknowledge this. Um, Understand that when we talk about single motherhood, it does not particularly mean you must be single. There are lots of married people that are living as single mothers in their husband's house. I will quote again. So the first comment that I saw, somebody typed, a guy typed, "No be this woman where they sabi curse Igbo men." Entirely no, that is not my signature. I adore and respect responsible Igbo men. And I entirely detest anything that has to do with a bad man, a bad woman. It is not in my DNA to support anything that has to do with unfairness. Single motherhood on the part of Africa, it's something that we need to adjust. It is not fun to, I don't ever pray to be in such situation. Another person may want to say, you are in a happy marriage, but why does it feel like you're always talking ill about them? It is because I feel their pain. I am a mother. I am somebody who, when somebody cry, I understand their pain, even if I have never been in such shoes. And that is the kind of talk I want to be talking to everybody. I need all of us to wear that garment of empathy. So today I will be talking to you guys. If you are a man, you are a woman, I want us to please be patient and be empathetic about single mothers because they go through a lot. They may come out and feel like all is well. All is not well, especially when there is no peaceful co-parenting that exists between them. It is not easy, especially in an economy like Nigeria. I have had a lot of women come to me and say, the moment I walked away, he stopped taking care of my kids financially. And my question is, if you have a problem with a woman, what happens to your children? If you have a problem with a man, why are you putting in the kids? Because the people who suffer the most from this kind of single parenting are usually the children. These children are entirely innocent from whatever you were saying, whatever that has happened between you and your partner. They are innocent. All right, single motherhood. Some people did not choose to be single mothers. Some people entirely choose it. It's by choice. Some circumstance could cause, some were not, they never planned it. So I do not know the type of single motherhood that you are. Some people lost a partner, and so they found themselves in such condition. If we must talk about single motherhood, the first thing that comes to mind is empathy.
Thank you so much, Precious. We really need it. Thank you for responding to the person who wrote something about you criticizing Igbo men. I think he's actually blind not to see that an Igbo man bring you come here because of the respect they have for you. And I think he's also blind to see that is an Igbo man that is sitting or next to you there because of the respect we have for you. And this is a thing a lot of people don't understand when it comes to topics like this. Nobody will come out and say that you are doing bad when you're doing good. So we talk about the good man. And when people talk about the bad man, if it triggers you, that means you're a bad man. Mazi Titi, my brother, welcome. My brother, unfilteredly, my brother, tell us, tell us the reality. I know say you don't see, just the same way a lot of us they see. I'm sure you've seen a lot of the things, the challenges, the realities of a lot of mothers that are single mothers out there. To your own understanding, can you please unfilter tell us what are the realities and challenges with some of these sisters they face?
Okay. Odogu, my brother, thank you very much for having me on your platform. It's indeed a deep honor, and thank you for everything you do. Thank you, Precious, for extending an invitation. It deeply shows how much you revere and respect my person, right? Thank you so much. This is a nerve-jacking conversation, and in most cases, words need to be treated carefully so that some persons will not be hurt. But in other ways, single motherhood is not just a statistic. Behind every woman, there is a story. My only issue is how society have decided to coin these stories. Nobody wakes up and say, I want to be a single mother. There are circumstances behind every decision. Now, stories are different. And in this day and age, you see people who are widows, you see who are divorcees, you see women who are abandoned, you see women who escaped abuse, you see irresponsible co-parenting situation, and you will see poor choices made by individuals. We have seen a lot of poor choices in the last few years. We have seen a lot of decisions made out of emotions that have landed a lot of women into this koromoto of single motherhood. Now, is single motherhood a curse? Is single motherhood a mockery? Is single motherhood an avenue to be ridiculed by society? The answer is no. Society have a way of shaping a narrative around individuals. And when they shape that narrative, then they dump it on individuals. I do not like abusive men. I do not like men that are not responsible. So I would always encourage women to pick up their bags and take a walk instead of being in a marriage where you are abusive, mentally, physically, emotionally, verbally. Because we've seen how the cases ended up. We've seen a lot of women that joined their ancestors before their time. So it is better for you to have that title, a single mother, alive with dreams, with plan, continuously growing, continuously evolving, than to be under a roof of an abuser. Most times, these abuses also extend to children, causing damages and traumas that years do not heal. So I would always want women to choose themselves and walk away from abuse. The title single mother can mean a different thing because people's stories are different. Where I have issues is poor choices. Poor choices is where we need to stand on tall, 10 foot tall, and talk to women. Poor choices. Poor choices leading by shenanigans, gifts, wooing, coercing, love bombing. There's a lot of methodologies that a lot of women and men have used to make poor choices that have landed them in situations where they now become single parents. And it is unfair. The society every day, like, it is crazy. But the idea of this new generation that's baby mama is now a choice. When we were growing up, you dare not even have conversation around kids or women without wife. When we were growing up, you dare not. But the generation is normalizing baby mama. So women need to be very careful and pay attention and be intentional with their decision and hug their career like transformer. Hug the career, growth, building like transformer. Hold it very dear to them, because the new generation, what I know, what you know, the way you were raised to treat women and the way this generation are being brought up to treat women, especially this TikTok generation, is appalling. So women need to self-respect themselves and grow, because this supposed stigma is a motivation in so many places. And I would want any woman who is here, who's a single mother, divorced, widow, whatever your situation is, to tap strength from women that have walked this walk with you. You can always pick yourself. It does not end at, oh, I'm a single mother, the world is cruel to me. The world does not like weak people. The world does not like weak and honest people. The worst mistake you can make in this day and age that we live in is to be weak and honest. You don't have to be weak. You can be affirm, you can be aggressive with your growth, but you don't have to be weak. Very important. Dump that shit. You still have time around to grow, to rebuild, to be able to outgrow this whole stigma and pick a path and choose. But a lot of people make excuses around, oh, I'm a single mother. Oh, I can't do this. Oh, I can't do that. They always feed negativities of limitation. Negativities of limitation is what makes people take advantage. All right. Before you know, oh, she was in a relationship, the man left, she's a single mother, then she now depends on another man. Another man still comes and tries to provide for the meantime. Then there's another baby number 2. Then the man walks away. Now she's left with baby number 2. So you need to make right choices. You need to make right choices. Very important. They say once bitten, twice shy. So it's very much important. Single motherhood comes from different circumstances and decisions. But after that, let's cut that shit. Let's get into the real thing. It is very painful situation to raise kids alone. As a father, I know what it takes to raise children, and I now begin to imagine doing that alone by yourself. Kids are expensive. When I mean not just monetarily expensive, it requires emotion, it requires money, it requires commitment, it requires physically being there, it requires a whole lot of things. So raising kids to me, like, raising kids is one of the most difficult job out there. I don't think any man would do it for 5 million naira a month. But women do this because society sort of have conditioning around it. That is your child, you have to do this, you have to do that. Nah. Raising kids is a two, because two people came together to make a baby. So it's very much important two people always understand that it has to. You have to be involved. So this is my submission, and we'll
Thank you.
go on to the next one.
Thank you so much, Mazi. I forget to put my this thing. Where did they call them? Pre, make a clap for you that time because I forget to put them. Mazi, thank you so much, my brother. Anyway, I actually I noted down some questions for you, Precious, and I also noted some for Mazi Titi because I want him to, like I always say, also be men. We never understand women perfectly. Now you women understand yourselves the most. We are just like an ally. So some of the questions I'll be asking him will just be from a perspective of a man. Precious, we've talked about a lot of realities where single mothers they face. Every day we hear, it seems like we hear the same stories every time. But is there a particular reality where people they hardly talk about? Is there any rare reality of single mothers where people they hardly talk about that aspect, but it is happening out there? To the best of your knowledge.
It's hard to be a single mother. It's hard. So I think one of the things is most single mothers that I know act strong, but they are actually not strong. But they just had to put out that strength so their kids will not see that their mother is feeling. There is something about single motherhood that whenever I hear or listen to people talk about it, I feel so mad. And the hate that comes with abandoning a woman and the children or a child. The pain, it's something that I have never experienced it, but don't kill me, I'm always very angry. So I think the deepest part of it is these women, they go through a lot that we cannot even explain, we can't define. A lot that we can't explain. These women are in tears, but it's laugh. These women are, but they just put the garment of strength so their kids will not fail. See, I think I have this message to men. You will suffer if you don't take care of your children.
Amen.
It is, I'm not coming here, I'm just telling you directly, you will suffer. Because I have been on this TikTok platform where I had some group of men. They particularly said women love to raise children. So impregnate them, leave them to take care of those kids. At the end of the day, the children will return back. I want to announce this to you if you have ears to hear. This is the usual pressures that you know. I am very blunt with words and I speak with no fear. You will suffer. And you will die lonely. Because the time these kids are supposed to spend time with you, they will spit on you. The only thing you know is how to take out your penis, impregnate the woman in Uganda. You go to Ghana, you impregnate the next woman. You go to Kenya, you come back to Nigeria, you leave your sperm there. And that is the only thing you brag about. This is me talking to you. You will suffer because these women go through pain. It is never easy for a single mother, even if she can take care of herself. However, I am always very mad with women. You understand that this is the situation of how our country is or how Africa is. Yet you open up everything to be laid. You are not prepared. The man is not prepared, but you want to have babies. So in the course of having those intercourse, what were you planning? You were probably thinking you were going to have fruit salad garnished with red wine and all of it. So one of the reasons, one of the pains or one of the realities, hardest realities that we don't talk about is these people's, they cry behind closed doors. And no matter how we'll talk, we will definitely have victims by the day. We'll have them. I think the two ladies that spoke on my platform before I joined your life, the strength in them, I see the strength in them when they were talking. But trust me, there is pain behind it. There is always a pain behind a smile. So as a guy that you're listening to me today, you have a child somewhere, please reach out to your child. You are not reaching out because you want to help the mother. You want to help the child that you brought forth because you and the mother went down doing something and you brought that child to this world. Do not let these women face this pain alone. Don't let them. They are going through societal backlash. They laugh at, you can imagine a single father, a single mother, but the woman takes the pain. She takes the pain alone. And all the messages, all the preaching goes to the woman. And they exalt and praise the man. So this is also one of the hardest reality about single parenting. The pain is usually on the female gender. And then the male gender are exalted. They give us reasons why it doesn't affect them and gives us reason why it affects us. Please, if you find yourself in such situation, please make up. Be a better father in the life of your children. Be a better father in the life of your kid. Because the mothers are not the one telling these kids wrong things or evil things about you. The kids are seeing. They can actually see what's going on. They understand what their mom is going through. They understand what the father is going through. Again, if you are a woman and the person that is stopping your kids from having access to their father is you, you need to stop. For the fact that you do have problem with the man or your partner, you should not bring that into relationship. Try to allow the father of the kids have access to their children. You may think you have the strength of a man, but you obviously don't. There is a role a father would definitely play in the life of his daughter. He is one, the first love, a protector. That's if he's a reasonable man, because not all fathers are protectors. Not all fathers are fathers. So if he's a responsible man, please do everything. Let him have access to those kids. It is to your benefit. It is to your gain. It is your profit. You will be glad you did. The relationship did not work, but please allow parenting work for your children. Thank you so much.
I honestly like the point that you hit there about we should always remember the children because children can't speak for themselves. They can't fight. I was talking to a guy who they create website on how to protect children for schools. And he said that the passion why he's doing this is because if anything happened to children, children know if it come out protest. It is sweet. That is why we are there to protect them. And we can't talk about the single motherhood without talking about the children as well. But I've seen a lot of women do things they never thought they would do in life just to put a smile on their face and to make sure say the children they're okay. If some single mothers they open to tell you the things that they would never tell you, whether they do behind closed doors just to survive, that is where the empathy you talked about before comes in. Mazititi, from a man's perspective, now we give woman belly, no be dog. Now man, all we the men, we are the ones we go. Just before I continue, I saw a guy wrote before, how about men? Men go through these things. And if I check some of their bios, some of them in America, you cannot stay in a country like America and you don't understand say they get topic. Today we are talking about single motherhood. All right? It's not about, when it comes to men, we'll talk about it. There's a reason why I have a mother and a woman we don't marry for more than a century day here. All right? I know they do misandrous things here. We believe in people they do and right, no matter your gender. Do it right. Mazititi, from a man's perspective, how can we, the men, how can fathers contribute positively even after separation? Or even after woman don't carry belly for them, it didn't work out. How can we as men make a difference, impact positively to the woman's life, most especially to the child's life?
Thank you once again, Odogu. I'll still maintain, I'll still stand on my initial protocol. The ball deeply lies in the court of a man, unless the man has been pushed to do otherwise. I don't know for other men, but me, I will speak for myself, right? I don't know for other men, and I'm not going to project. And I don't think I will need to speak a lot because the evidence is plastered all over my platform. I share an unbreakable bond with my kids. The bond I have with my children is eternal because I'm an orphan. The only thing I have to my name are my loins. Not properties, not cars, not travel. The only thing that I will be remembered for, they are my loins. My father is not there, my mother is not there. My siblings are all settled, doing whatever that they want to do. So what I have is my kids, right? Fine. So that is my own perspective. That is how I was raised. My mother died when I was barely 11. And my father played a huge role in my life growth. So seeing my father sacrifice a lot to raise me, there is nothing, there is no amount of malice, there is no amount of quarrel, there is no amount of whatever it will take for me not to be involved in my kid's life. It is what you say, it is an oath that I have taken before God that I must be in my kids' life, right? I must raise my kids. My daughter knows my number off the bat. So she rings me at any time. If she rings me now, we'll end this life and go take her call. That is number one. It's very much important. Why? Because I work and I communicate with young adults a lot. Being called a sperm donor is like being called a bastard. When you sit down with conversation of this new generation and they refer to their father as a sperm donor, is the worst cause anybody can cause a man. I'm telling you, they don't say nothing. They just said, I don't have his father, I just had a sperm donor. So if you're a man, you're here, and you don't want to be tagged a sperm donor, the onus is on you. The onus is on you to fight to have a place in the life of your child. The onus is on you to fight and provide for your children because they will call you a sperm donor. It is very much important as a man. Now, I understand a lot of women weaponize children, right? A lot. And this is coming from societal conditioning and role modeling. A lot of women tend to watch the wrong type of women to model their life around, and it's wrong, right? Okay. And because of that, this societal conditioning and role modeling tends to make some women use children as weapon against their partner. Now, if that is your case, that you are trying to get access and you are not getting access, then that is a different conversation altogether. All right? That means that is a different conversation altogether. But if you are not in that situation, and as a man, you are making excuses as the reason why you are not in the life of your family, then you are a sperm donor. There is nothing you can say. There is no reason as to why a man will not be in the life of his children. There is no reason. There is no reason at all. We are now in 2026. You can FaceTime, you can WhatsApp call, you can send gifts, you can get. So there is no reason why you cannot even buy a phone and give your child and say, this phone is for my child. My child can call me, recharge this phone and let my child call me and be in the life of your child. At least let your child know that I have a daddy. If the child goes out and says, I have my daddy, I can call my daddy on the phone. So there is no reason, it's not justifiable, unless you are in a situation whereby the kids are now weaponized against you. That the women are using the kids to hold you, not to give you access, but to torture and torment you, then we understand. But if that is not the case and you're not making efforts to provide the basic things your children need, their tuition fees, their clothing, spending time with them, conversation, reading, and a whole lot, there is absolutely no justification. Nothing. There is nothing you want to come here and talk, you're capping. You're just full of excuses. There is no reason at all. And you will be tagged a spam donor. Not now, probably when you're in your 65. Lonely, not now, you're a hot shit. Not now that a lot of women want you to. When you're 65, lonely, that you need conversation, then you realize you're a spam donor. Not now. Now you're young. Now you can bag anything you want to bag. Now you can continue living your life like nothing is going on. But when you're growing to the point, because as a man, the more we grow older, the more we get lonelier. The more we get gray, the more we get lonelier. The more you're no longer interested in late night movement. You're no longer interested in parties, and you're not interested in a lot of things. So then you will then start retracing back into decisions you've made as human, right? Because the older we get, we're no longer outside like we used to, The older we get, there's a lot of things now that you're thinking. And these things now, this state where you get to now, you need those conversations. You need your phone to buzz because your phone is no longer ringing. The boys are no longer calling. And your phone needs to ring at least once in a while, Because I've been with like aged people before, they will be like, call my phone, let me know if this number is still ringing. But the wife's number is ringing 24 hours. The man will be like, dial go to my phone, let me know if my phone is still ringing or disconnected. But the wife's phone is ringing 24 hours. So while the society have conditioned women to be carers, to be, to be carers, the men to be providers, understand that job the women is doing as carers, that is the reason why you see it in time. Women tend to get the more affection, the more love, and the men also needs to tap into that, because I've also seen people, like I said, I have an amazing bond with my father, right? You can be negative in your comment. I don't know if your father is a deadbeat. That is up to you and your family. My mind was not a deadbeat. So if you are from a deadbeat background, it will be transferred onto you. Yeah. Most of the people you see them with the ideology they have is because of their family and the people that they listen to. So it's very much important. There is no excuse as to the reason why you don't initiate or make effort to be in the life of your children. I do not believe that. No excuse at all. No excuse. I don't believe that as a man, there is no excuse, except is in a situation where the kids are being used as a weapon against you. But if that is not the case, if you bring up these women and ask them what is going on, they will give you reasons and reasons and reasons why these men are not even showing up. They are not trying. They are not supporting. They will give you reasons and reasons. When you bring the men up and ask them, they will want to change the narrative around. All right. As a man, you don't remember the birthdays of your children. As a man,
Sad.
you don't have conversations with your growing kids and everything. It is, it's appalling. It is appalling. You need to do the basic, the barest minimum is you showing up for your kids. Showing up. Very much important. Showing up. Your kid needs to know I have a dad. I can call. I can call at any time. Even if he's in the moon, he's going to answer me. It's a reassurance. So men understand that. Thank you so much. Let's get on to the
Thank you,
next.
Mazi. I really appreciate. Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, just a minute. And even if there is a situation where the woman is the weapon fashioned against you, seeing your child, it is very important that every man make Efforts. Keep making efforts. Let the child see that you were making effort. Do not relent. If it doesn't work with the forces, make sure you show up. Let your kid see that you did something, not just waiting for him to grow. I think it will also help as well. Just wanted to add that.
Thank you so much. And coming from what Mazi also said, even men, depending on the country, let's say a man they prison, understandable, but he get men where they prison where they still find way to call. So if men in the prison can make efforts to still call, you will get freedom. What's holding you? What's the excuse? As in waiting, they hold you. A lot of the time we complain that children they always love their mother the most. You think the child just woke up and decide to love the mother the most. It's because there's something you're not doing right. There's something you're not doing right. Mazititi, thank you for that. Precious, one thing I've noticed on my platform is that a lot of our sisters will be single mothers. They face a lot of things, like emotionally and financially. That be the biggest challenges way a lot of our sisters will be single mothers they face emotionally and financially. In your own perspective, I know that these things are big challenge, but which one you could say they too bad? Let's say if we can solve this one a little bit, they might find how to manage the other between emotional and financial challenges where a lot of single mothers they face.
My dear, I will always say financial is the biggest. Somebody can decide to make social media a place where they can cover up for emotions, even if there is no partner. You can decide to be somebody who likes to visit the gym. It's part of the way it's one of the things that make you happy. So emotional, I think there's a way we can fix it. But financial, when it's so hard, you begin to look for tactics of how do I start begging? And sometimes, because of that lack of finances, you will find yourself doing the same mistake that you made. Because some people may want to help you, but there will be something attached. They will tell you, okay, I go help you, but I need to see you. I need to see your pants. And you are watching your child suffer, probably sick, and the father is not showing up. Probably your family members are not showing up. And the best thing you can do is just to pull that same pants you promised, the same pants you pulled to have this child. So I think finance is one big thing, is one big challenge for single motherhood. So now this is what I advise women or young ladies on my platform. Even though we do have Koromoto people, although Kiwi, guess what? I had a conversation with young ladies, and I was saying, young ladies, before you pull your pants, ask yourself, Atobami, can I take care of it? So I'm going to say that in English. Before you pull your pants, ask yourself, if then give me belle. Like, what if I get pregnant? Am I capable to take care of this child? If your answer is no, tell the man to take his penis back. Yiri pant again aba. So while I was saying this, I went further to say, oh, you can use Doncom, that's condom, to protect yourself. And somebody typed, Madam, skin to skin this sweet. So, but understand that if so whatever that has sweetness, you will keep eating it until it start getting bitter. So I think if you're not financially okay, you are not buoyant enough, you don't have family who would support you, you don't have partner that will support you, you cannot even support yourself, please close your legs. Again, the reason why I said finance too is if you notice, you will see that they have also devised a means where they begin to beg online. So we have corporate beggars in the name of single parenting. It is more like social media fraud. So I have them in my inbox where they discuss like, my husband pushed me out of the house, I'm a single mother, please help us. So these things are intentionally these things are fraud. Nothing of such happened. Sometimes it is real, but the moment they get the first help, they block your entire nation and jump to the next community. And this is because of what? Igadiro. There is no money for it. But if we can be telling ourselves the truth, you will know that before you can stand up, before you can stand up and say, I want to have a child, you should be able to prepare for that child. I know somebody in their head will be saying, but a child is a blessing. Another person will say, a child is a responsibility. However, they are both for me. They are both. A child first is a responsibility. Again, you have to take care of that child first. Then if God is on your side, the child will now become a blessing to you. If that child is not a blessing to you, the child becomes a curse. Because there are children, after spending so much, they become the worst nightmare. So these children are curses. So please, if you do not have money, ijiro ego, close your pants, pull up, zip up, be stingy with your womb. You don't have money, zip your womb. Be stingy with it. It is not every man that deserves to be the father of your kid. If you learn to be stingy with your womb, I know that you want each arm. Do you get? I know you want penis. I know you want to enjoy it. But please, please, have it at the back of your mind that you can enjoy this 5 minutes for as long as you want, but when the responsibility of becoming a single mother in a society where there is backlash, where they chastise you, where they talk ill things about single motherhood, please step back and have a second thought. But if you are ready, you know that even if this man decided I don't have any business with this child, you can take care of it. Auntie, you're on your own. It is choice. As I said, some single parenting is by choice. It is not all that is circumstances. There are some that is just by choice. I intentionally want to get pregnant. I don't want a man. Even when he supports is a bonus. But if he doesn't support, that's fine. So some people are by choice. Congratulations to all the people who planned it and it's working well for them. But if you find yourself in such situation, please help yourself. Odogubiko, let me say this. When I was talking the first time, in my first intro, I said, not just single mothers. There are married women. Emphasis on married women in their husband's house, but they are living as single mothers in that same house. The only difference is the tag of Mrs. The only difference is the tag of Mrs. The question is, how are you rebuilding yourself to help yourself and your child or children? What are those things? Because you know that you are doing too much, but you are getting less gain. Rebuild yourself. Find yourself doing something. Know the number of kids you can have. When your husband say he wants 6, look at his financial capability. Can he take care of these 6 children? Can he take care of 4? Be stingy with your womb. Oh, okay. I know some people will hit me and say, but the man paid his bride price. Yes, but this is your womb. How many can you take care of? I'll leave at that. Thank you so much.
Sometimes we're supposed to apply sense. A man paid your bride price for 25 naira. Do you know what it costs to take care of one child? It isn't at 30 naira. I've been at 40. Now, Precious, there's something you talk about, and I would like to host this again maybe by next month. I feel like not that I feel like it is crystal clear that you see this finance is what they talk about. I think we use it, a lot of men use it as a weapon to hold women down. And it's something we need to talk about so that a lot of sisters can understand that if you are able to have something that you're doing as a woman, that is when you understand that money is the bare minimum a man can offer you. That is when you start looking at value. You start looking at common sense. A lot of you ladies, they with men who wanna marry. When they open mouth to talk, you'll be like, is this now adults they talk? I've seen some married men where is this really a man? So I think that finance is a part that we'll talk about because a lot of my sisters, I mean no disrespect, a good man to them, the man with the bring money. And that's the fact. A lot of you, my sisters, a good man, a definition of good man to you, the man with the bring money. And we need to change that narrative. Mazi TT, you actually, when
No
I asked you
verse,
the
no
first,
verse, no
yeah,
verse. If you not bring money, what need they bring? I just a question. I just one question, please. If you not bring money, what need they bring?
exactly. Ewele Ebola.
So a good man brings money. So don't take the money out. Give us all get them.
It, it, it will still bring money, but it not go be the okay now because of money I take there with time. At least you go know send a man will bring in value to the house because you as a woman you can still make money yourself. If
Although
you mm,
one of the problems we face is that
mm,
a lot of women has left the position of a woman and they have taken the position of a man as a provider, and this is
okay,
one of the things that bring them down. There is
mm,
something about men, not in general, but I'm talking about in more men. The moment you begin to take their place, they see less of you. In most cases, the moment you take the position of building, so that's why I said it is in the place of a man to provide. So when a good man should provide, if you don't provide, you are not doing nothing. What if you name daddy?
I'm talking about providing. Talking about providing is a completely different topic if you want to talk about providing. A man should provide. That is no two ways about it. But what I'm talking about here is that if you only want to marry a man just because the money he gets, I don't think it's the right decision. There are other things you should look into. If you marry a man just because of the money he makes and is a man that abuses you physically, emotionally, in all ramifications of life, he's abusing you, at a point you realize that that money is not enough to keep you happy.
I get your point.
Yeah. So the one of providing is a completely different topic, and that's the fact. But I'm coming from a place of the only thing where you take the call a man good man is because of money. You don't know what any sister will get this mindset don't know what she wants. That's where I'm coming from. Now, Mazi Titi, before I go to Mazi Titi, Precious, there's something you talked about this knacking something. A lot of our sisters does not know that then they give access to knacking. You don't know the power you hold as a woman. That is why a lot of men promise you heaven and earth just to go in between there. A lot of our sisters, you don't know the power you have. Everything about you get power. Even for man to touch your body, now power. A lot of men will promise you heaven and earth just to touch your nipples. They get nipples, so everybody get nipples. But for your own, they go want to promise you heaven and earth just to touch it. You don't know the power you hold. Before my late father passed away, he said that, oh, nah, if every woman decide to close their legs, men will find the cure of HIV under 24 hours. Men will find them. But a lot of our sisters forget that they are queens and start giving out their birthright like chicken. My sisters, please, anything where they make man turn to mumu just because you want to give him that thing is your power. Mazi Titi, your answer to my question, I prepared seven questions for you and Precious, but your answer to my first question already answered my number two, answered my number three. So I'm jumping to number four, my brother. How can society encourage men, encourage us as men to be more accountable parents? Because a lot of us men will know they're accountable. We are nonchalant. There's a day here, a lady was sharing her story, and she said that the man that made her a single mother said to her, if you do anyhow, I'll just go there, get another woman pregnant. Mr. Keziah Amwezwike. That is, and the thing touched me well. It touched me well. A lot of our brothers, we're not taking accountability. We too get this, we get pride, right? We get time too much. But how can the society even help us? Even if without the society, how can we men try to take accountable as parents?
Well, so here's the problem, right? The society tries to put a lot of people down. The society puts a lot of people down. And population density, the feminine gender has more population than the masculine gender, right? So there is this amplification around men who are not playing their full position due to circumstances. So I feel like society does the opposite. Instead of encouraging men or encouraging families, instead of providing practical tutorials on what has worked, society tends to put pressure, label on people who are struggling. And that is where we have a huge problem. We've seen a lot of people in the past make statements like, men are scum, men are nothing, men are deadbeats, men are this, men are that, right? There's actually a lady on TikTok whose job every day is to say men are useless, women should use men. And she's pregnant for a man now. She lives in Canada, right? So you find out that there is a lot of, she recruits gullible, uninformed, naive people and make them misandrist instead of making them feminist. Now, society, instead of encouraging young people, because people are young, get into marriage or get into relationship, have children, then there will be labeling, comparison. Your friend is doing this, you're supposed to be doing this. There's a lot of people who want to try, but the reason that what they are doing is not working at the time, they are being labeled lazy, they are being labeled broke, they are broke shamed, they are called all manner of names. So what these people do is they decide to just cower under and just abandon the whole shit, like let it go. We saw Tonto Dike and Churchill saga, how it played out. And almost 10 years later, Tonto Dike they are looking at reconciliation. So society is not helping because I don't think anybody got married and they gave the person a handbook and said, this is I don't think anybody got married and they gave the person a handbook and say, this is marriage rules. This is the 10 commandments of marriage. Nobody. What people got was counseling and probably experience from their mother who always preach endurance, experience from their father who always preach you are the man of the house. But no handbook, no manual to say this is how marriage is being run. So relationships or marriages, these are open universities people attend. Society can do better by encouraging, by not labeling, by not condemning, by profiling solution instead of always adding fuel into a burning fire already. And this has gone so deep. There is a huge hatred that a man, somebody who was hurt before, getting a relationship unhealed, continues in that relationship hurt. So the society is not even helping. The society is going the other way. You see people who are willing to try, but because there is no societal encouragement. And I'm so sad because we have gotten to the point whereby people now tend to publicly find resolution instead of looking for in-house resolution. When I was growing up, it's nearly a taboo for married people to come to public to talk about the things they do in the dark. These are things whereby the families resolve amicably amongst themselves. Infidelity did not start today. Adultery did not start today. But today, now everybody now just wants to have issue with my partner, put it on social media. Like everybody just want to fail and show the world I married a failure. The society is encouraging people to throw failures on social media. Look at it. We did not finish talking about Frank. What's his name? Anita Joseph's husband came up and opened camera and started talking shit. Nobody asked you. Are you as a man, are you not ashamed? So society is doing the opposite. Both gender is wooed in this whole society. So society needs to slow it down, because if we begin to write, rules of marriage, rules of engagement, unfortunately, it's not a one size fits all. So if anybody decides to write it as a book, you will still find out that it may not work in your home. So the society is doing the opposite. Society needs to do more, give people chance, look at people who are trying, support people who are trying. Society needs to shine light on promoting positivity instead of fueling negativity. You will see a solid couple who are trying to make it work, putting shit out there, then you see the negative comments that will follow. There will be body shame, there will be prejudice, there will be judgment. The men will say she will take your money and leave you. She just want to divorce you. She will wreck you. The women will come in and oh, he has a baby mama outside. So it is hard, even when people try to make it work. You see that the society just wants to fuel negativity. They just want to look for crack. That is why I respect people who decide to say, I'm getting off this whole social media. Like, go back to the old. There are people who will tell you, I'm not on social media. They will just get out of social media. So in this day and age, it is so scared to be even in a committed relationship, like even be married. Because it just feels like people just sit down and just wait. Whose marriage is going to fail next? Rather than how can we salvage the situations? How can we find solutions? We are looking for failure. Society is you and me. Society is the people in the comment section fueling. Society are the people who choose to take side. That is the society. So the society has failed already. We have failed from the get-go. We have failed. And if men have not learned anything in the last 1 week, there's a lot for men to learn. A lot. A whole lot. Because if you imagine the mindset and the comments, I intentionally made a video and I was analyzing the comments. And the trend in these comments are the same. So it's very much important as men. We also band together to do what we call holding our fellow men accountable. Holding our fellow men accountable. We as men normalize supporting, holding our fellow men accountable. I might be lucky though. People might be different, right? But I used to have some group of friends. Oh boy, you don't go market for your wife. Oh boy, you don't go wash your wife motor. Oh boy, you don't do this for your wife. Oh boy, you don't do that for your wife. Oh boy, your madam, they call you pick call. Oh boy, I no go beg for you. This character where you the character, so now the character will cause problem before. These are the type of friends you need to have around you. Not all women are the same. Not she just want to carry your money go. We need to hold fellow men accountable. When you see your friend living lavish outside, whereby home is leaking, you hold your fellow men accountable. But there is also a problem.
Mazi, while you're talking, I just continue. It also be men, sometimes or most of the time, if man do something, would they hold them accountable? Let me take an example of this Chike something. I made a comment where Chike Day, and I commented there, I wrote Mr. Amwezuike. Because it's not good to sleep with person, husband. It's also not good for woman too to sleep with person, wife, all right? And coming from someone like me, where they always hold men accountable, I was expecting some of our sisters to be like, okay, Kiwi did there. My comment section was filled with a lot of our Nigerian sisters. They insult me.
They'll finish. They'll finish. I
A
say,
lot of
statistically
Mazi
analyzing their
Titi,
comments, their uniform.
a lot of our sisters were. I was like, okay. So this thing where then talk say if man cheat, it increases his value. Where women they fight against since now they are proving it right. All right. But and then one of them wrote on the there's something you say there, make I put them straight. One of the sister wrote there, she said, Kiwi, I'm disappointed in you for writing this. Mazi, I responded her. For the past 1 week, I am disappointed in a lot of you sisters too. But that will be a topic for another day. And based on what you're saying, my brother, the social media is crazy. And here's why I say it's crazy. I don't see person will come for here, they share story, how she almost ruined the relationship she gets with guy based on something where person post. Anybody where they post something out there, they post their own experience. If the experience tally with your own, then you listen. Be mindful of what you feed yourself. Be mindful of the information you feed yourself. A lot of us they go astray. Mazititi, this trend will happen now changed my perspective a lot. Let me be honest. It changed my perspective a lot about a lot of our Nigerian sisters. I'll be honest with you. But then again, I saw another video of reasonable sisters speaking. It gave me back hope. This is to tell you that the things where they feed our brain, they're very dangerous. Like everything I was seeing is negative, negative, negative. It changed my perspective in regards to some of our sisters. And then I started seeing people where they talk, where they balance. Like when I went to Precious live stream, they did a lot of balance. Said the woman too mess up. They date this guy when he be there here. Like and that there are people where they reason a lot. The things will feed our mindsets, they're very bad. Mazi, go on, make I go back to Precious.
All right. So society can do a lot because they said it takes a community to raise a child. Society can do a lot by also extending that hand of it takes a community to raise a child. In as much as the world we live in today, the community that raise children are now abusing children. That is to tell you how bad it's gotten. When we used to grow up, kids can play outside till late in the night. But look around you, how many kids do you see outside? Because that is how the social engineering has changed over time. And as men, it's very much important to hold men accountable. It's very much important to provide help to men. Because a lot of men, most of the time, right, I speak to a lot of brothers because I speak in their language, I speak in the way that they understand, right? You find out that a lot of men are not, they did not decide to back out, but a lot of men are misunderstood. And Precious said something here. She corrected you. You said it's not all about money. And she reiterated that if it is not money, then what? So you need to, because as a man, you might be getting it wrong, thinking that, oh, okay, my presence is this. I need to be this. I need to be that, right? It's very much important as a man to get into your head, prioritize your family, prioritize your growth, right? I'm just reiterating the point Precious made, that you find out that a lot of these issues, the pressure, if you do a deep research, probably speak to multiple people, compare stories, you find out that a lot of pressure is bound on financial burden. You cannot take that away. Financial burden. So as men, it's very much important that we do well to understand the roles that are assigned to us. Bigger roles. Bigger roles. Society is messed up already. And not just Nigeria. Nigeria is even Nigeria is late to the party. Nigeria is late. Nigeria always catch up late, and when they catch up is in the West here is messed up. So if you have something going on and you are thinking that okay, don't come out here. This place is military barracks. They will whip you. They
It's
will
in the
whip
outside.
you. They will whip you. So let's move on to the next topic, right?
Thank you so much, Mazi Titi. Thank you for that point. Also, the men need to they take accountable or they call out other men. It's very, very important. There's something I wanted to say, but if it comes back to my mind, I will go back there. Prepre, there's something you already answered, all right? When you were talking about a lot of single mothers that they go through a lot of things, but they still wear a smile on their face. Like they smile in everybody's face and they cry whenever people leave the room. And you've answered that. So I'm going to go straight to my number 4 question that I prepared to you. To the best of your knowledge, what kind of support do single mothers need most from the society and the family? Like if from your own perspective, what kind of support do you feel like, say, as a society, as a community, we single mothers deserve, and how can we best support them? The reason I'm asking this question is that we all know it's difficult, not even in Africa, even overseas. It's difficult to be a single mother. It's difficult to be the one who stayed. Like, how do you think the society or the community or other family members can come and make a little bit of difference in their life?
Okay, I think the best way is raising our daughters with value, raising them to be good women and not good wives. I'll say that again. And so in fact, should I say one of, or the best way to raise a girl child, raise them with value. When a girl child understands her values, people should not be angry that we are not including the boy child, because this says the realities of single motherhood. So we're just talking about women. But please, we have a lot of single mothers that are wicked. We do know that, but that is for a different time. Please, one of the is raising them with values. Raise your daughters, your girl child, to be a good woman, not a good wife. Now, the reason why I say don't raise your daughter to be a good wife, because the only thing she sees is a man. Her life ends with a man. Kedif also is this how you're going to cook for your husband? Now like this, you go take wash clothes for your husband. So it's always man, 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 man. So as they are grooming her, the only thing she sees, the moment I go to school, a man marries me. I get birth, I stay in the house. The man tells me this. No. But when you raise your daughter with values to be a good woman, she becomes a good woman to herself, to her family, to her community, to the nation at large. And even to the man that will marry her. So, because one of the reasons is because femoral values. Then after values, please let them have skills. It is only a child who has valued herself should begin to think, okay, I can actually do this for myself, not a man doing it for me. Long throat girls, they didn't raise them with values. They are the ones at the age of 13. They are thinking of how to sleep with an elderly man who is 60, 70, 80, just to give them peanuts. If they were raised with values, integrity, trust me, not even $1 billion will just move them like that. That is why even when they are in their homes, They don't think of doing anything because they've got value for themselves, for their body, for their brain, for everything. You might be poor, but the kind of people that touch you matter. And that is because of the type of values that you were raised with. So when you raise your children, please raise them to be financially, let them understand that I can do this for myself, not a man doing it. And we should also raise our boy children to learn to accommodate women and not compete with them. Because when they see women who are doing, there are lots of women, girls that have been raised properly with values, with integrity. But the problem they are facing in the society is men will still find a way to hit them, to stigmatize them, right? To bring them down. Okay, if you have all of this, what else can I offer? So that's why when you're talking about money, I ask you, if you can't give me money, what else can you offer? Because when a man finds a woman who has built herself, who has, taken herself to a certain level, they ask themselves among themselves, if men can be honest, she don't get house now, she don't get cash, she don't get money. What did I go give this one? She don't go get respect. This one be like a man like me. So no, while we are trying to raise our girls to have values, we should also not forget to remind the boys to learn to live with us women. Because when you raise a girl child, well, you raise a whole generation. So values, very important. Then let her understand that she can get this for herself and not a man giving it to her. Then we have won the battle of, having more. It's not like it's going to end. We will definitely have people who are rich and will still want to play around, right? But I think it's going to reduce the rate of single motherhood in our nation.
Thank you so much, Precious. Um, while while Precious was talking, a lot of people were talking about also the boy child, and I think she made a comment that today we talk about women. All right. Each time with Precious they talk, topics they come my head. One thing will come to my head again, and I would like this one. I would like men to really date there. And Precious, I would also like you to be there because you're a mother. You get son, right? You get male child, right?
What? I've got 3 boys and a girl.
Good.
Yes.
I would really want us to talk about maybe to the sister that made this flyer. Thank you so much, Ada. I want you to make another one for me. The topic should be raising the boy child, and then do bracket patriarchy, because patriarchy they cause a lot of things and we don't know. And now here's something a lot of men don't know. You see this patriarchy system, it also affects men, and men no say it affect us. That patriarchy system, you go see man, you go carry burden where they break them down. Instead of when go share, talk about it, all right? You go carry him, you go buy him. There's a way that seems right to a man, but the end is destruction. Some of us men don't even know say this patriarchy system in a way they buy men as well. Anyway, Mazi Titi, over to you, my brother. Your own question don't they finish. But now my question to you is, Mazi, what advice would you give to the young men about fatherhood? I'm coming from a place of say I know so you be father. What advice would you give to the young men about fatherhood and relationship?
Young men need to. I'm still a young man, anyways. I never old now. I never old. So you need to be open to learning, right? But as a man, the best form of learning comes from associating with people. So I will say this: find someone you revere who has succeeded in almost every area of life you want to succeed in: academically, financially, maritally. Not maritally on paper, but maritally, somebody that you know, right? Who has succeeded in all those areas of life. Get close. Don't ask for handouts, ask for mentorship. Don't ask for connection, ask for alignment. because that is the best way as a young man for you to model your life. 18, 19, 20, get a mentor. Get a mentor who you see that is doing academically, financially, maritally, you know. When you go to a man's house, you see his relationship with his wife or his partner, then you begin to pop the right questions. What is your conflict resolution strategy? How do you communicate? What are some times I see a lot of young people meet older men, instead of asking them life advices of how they failed, they tend to want to get views for social media. So there's a lot of older men. And as a young man, the best way for you to actually grow is to follow people that are 10, 20 years older than you. You cannot fail when you make friends with men that are 10, 20 years older than you. You are working with people that have gone to the future and you see them. Follow them as your friends. Because men don't have limits as to the friends that they have, right? Men don't have, you can 16 years young men, like 12 years. Men don't have, as long as you're a man, like if you know how to put yourself right, get in the right rooms, you can be able to get access to those people. So that is how you can model your life. There is no two ways about it. Not social media, books. Yes, books helps a lot. But there are older men that have succeeded in a lot of areas of life that you want to grow in. Okay, look at Cosmos Madukana, for example. Look at Cosmos Madukana, for example. You find out that business, family, public image, you see that this man has a whole lot attached to it. So imagine the group of young men that are under his mentorship, his children. He did not live abroad, but he built what a lot of people that moved abroad could not build. So when you're choosing the older people, make sure you're choosing the older wise men. That's why I said, have your checklist of who you want your role model to be. Not just anybody. Have a checklist of who you would. There are 60-year-old foolish men. There are 70-year-old foolish men. But have a checklist of who you want your role model to be. So as a young man, it's very important. Foundations you lay in your childhood plays a huge role to what it's going to be like when you are growing into the time when you become a father. Fatherhood is a journey that is not always explained. In most Igbo homes, they will just tell you, Ogodogiru can go to Libya. Full stop. They are not going to tell you any other thing. That Ogodogiru can go to Libya should tell you, a lot. But when you're a young man, you'll be like, waiting this man they talk. So fatherhood is a full-time job that you will never get to retire from. No holiday. Remember, when your kids are younger, is even the time when you're on holiday, when they are younger. Because then probably you're home, probably you get to spend time with them. And those are the critical times as well. Because that's when you plant the right seed, right? Now, when they start growing up and get to a certain age, then your heart is automatically ripped out from you. And somebody out there is working with your heart. You feel me? And every day your heart is panting. Every day. So it is a very huge duty. Find a mentor who has been able to succeed in these areas of life. They will give you the right channel and the foundation on how to lay that foundation. A lot of men prioritize a few things first. Get education, set up a business, have multiple streams of income before getting into the family journey. And I cannot emphasize this enough. Get education, set up a business, have multiple streams of income, then before you go into creating children is very much important. Very, very, very important. And do not let society take you down with, with the age and with the time. The time that we live in right now, it's very important that we lay the right foundation, the right financial foundation.
Mm.
The earlier, the better. If it's entrepreneurship, that is fine. But here is the
Yes.
problem. Here is the problem why I feel like, here is the problem why I feel like where we're coming from, right?
Mm.
I have seen men build,
Yeah.
and this is a very huge concern. I have seen men build.
Yeah.
It's also a topic that we need to treat,
Okay.
in some other time because I've seen men build, right?
Mm.
I've seen men figure it out early.
Mm.
They build, they strategize, they set up plans, and Nigeria happens to them.
True.
And now they need to scatter again,
Mm.
move
Square one.
move continent again.
Mm.
No connection, no foundation, no handouts, and start building all over again.
True.
Building with two things in mind: uncertainties, regrets,
Mm.
emotions, most times depression.
Mm.
And we don't have these conversations a lot. I
True.
have seen men plan. I have seen men build.
Mm.
Nigeria happens. Then they fly halfway across the world to start all over. And then there is then this whole judgment of comparing people who were there before and people that just got there. So, as a man, what I would say is make your plans, find a mentor,
Thank you.
follow aggressively.
Mm.
Follow aggressively. You can have multiple mentors. You can have a mentor who does well financially but does bad maritally, right? You follow
True.
his financial expertise. You can
Yes.
follow some men who are very good maritally but they are not good financially. You follow their. That's why, as a man, you don't need to have just one friend. My father said, have
Mm.
friends. Have
Mm.
friends.
True.
So you need to have you can find men who does well business wise, but they don't do well marriage wise. You follow their
Mm.
business advice.
Mm. True.
So
Mm.
and when you find men who does these four things in one, that is golden. That is your ticket to breaking a whole lot of things. Get
Mm.
close to that person because we always reduce a lot of things to finance. And I will still say it that being a father goes beyond financial burden.
True.
If a man's job is just to provide financial support,
You are failed.
then that person is losing a whole lot.
Mm.
Finance is the basic, is barest minimum. If all things are equal, finances are supposed to be natural, like you're not even supposed to compete it. Set up
Yes.
strategy, money starts coming in. If all things are not equal, finances are supposed to just be there.
Mm.
So I have seen that we need to, if you find a man who does well, teaches you conflict resolution, how to, psychological evaluation, emotional intelligence, communication,
Mm.
communication, communication. Communication is a subject, is a topic that it's very much important. Communication, learning how to communicate. The right communications will get you out of a very steep situation.
Mm.
The wrong communication will put you into more steep situation. So communication, a lot of relationship fail because of communication. Communication. So men need to develop these areas: emotional intelligence, communication, psychologically,
Mm.
financially, then take up the role. But there's one thing about fatherhood. Fatherhood does not care if you have PhD to humble you. Yeah, to humble. Yeah, fatherhood does not. With your PhD, you change diaper now. Yeah. Yeah, with your PhD, you will change diaper. You wake up 1 a.m., you will make baby food. Yeah. With your PhD, yes, you will bath the baby. Yes. You will change diaper. Yeah. With your PhD, you will do school run. It does not matter. You must be there. Nobody will do it
Must.
for you. Nobody will do it
You
for you.
must know.
Very much important.
Very.
Communication is key to unlocking a whole lot of serious. Well, a lot of women will say, "Oh, I cannot give
But
him access. I
but
cannot this, cannot
but
do this."
but Mazi, do you agree with me that when it comes to communication, us we be men we they very bad.
Ah, we carry class for head now.
We they very bad for
Yeah, yeah,
communication.
yeah. Because of perception. Because of perception. There are communications, there are topics you want to discuss, and you feel like
Mm,
I might appear weak.
mm,
You said something. Patriarchy destroyed men rather than it built them.
mm,
Patriarchy destroyed a lot of men. You mask up emotion, you mask up thoughts, you front this whole brick wall, this whole kuchogo type of
mm,
persona, right? There is no, you are with a partner who is always trying to understand you,
mm,
who is always trying to understand you. So that is what it is, because you are raised as a man not to complain.
mm,
And society did not even do better. Imagine a man hold phone and cry and talk about what he's going through. We can do that as a social experiment, and let's look at the comment
mm.
section. You
Okay.
are a man. You are a man. You go make him. You are a man. You're not supposed to cry. A man. You're not. So this is why people are dying inside. Communication. Men are not taught communication. And it's very much important, very, very much important that, the new generation understand that communication is very much important. Very, very, very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Mazi. Precious,
Um,
you want to chip in something?
Yes, I want to say something. It's really not like men can't communicate. Men can actually communicate, but because of this patriarchal system, but they would rather communicate with their side chicks, concubines, yes, than communicating with their wives. So the thing is, we need to tell them that you need to communicate with your wives. I am being honest with you. So those things they don't communicate with their wife, they do it with outside. So if they can do that outside, what's stopping them from doing it inside?
Precious,
I'm very, very sorry.
Precious. That's another angle to look at it because that's another angle to look at it
Men
because
generally have a bad communication index. I
mm.
can pull statistics for you, both with the side chicks, both with the wives. Generally. Generally.
Mazi did that one with the side chick self. That to just to the
Yes.
that
Yes.
communication is not just
It's not even communication.
that
as
is
long
so.
as long as you can say it, as long as you can say it. I know that some koromoto, some amwezuko will hit me, but I'm gonna say that. You guys know that I will say it when you think I will stop. I will say it again.
Mm,
Let me repeat what I said. For people
mm,
who want to cry in the comment section, FYP, that's okay. That's okay. Not like men don't know how to communicate.
uh,
Men do know how to communicate, but they fail to communicate with their wives. In
okay,
most cases, I am not generalizing. In most
okay.
cases, men communicate with their friends. This is why a man will take a wife's issue, take it to the friend. This is what my wife is doing. This is communication. They have a rapport together. This is why a man will tell a side chick know everything about a wife, but a wife know nothing.
And
That
Precious,
is communication as well.
I know someone from the angle you're coming from. I know a person where waiting inside chick no, my wife no, my wife no, all
So
right.
they choose
And
who to talk to, but they actually
and
communicate. But
and another thing, if I want to get your point from saying we can actually communicate, I think we can. We there's a difference between knowing that you can and letting ego and pride cloud it. It's just like when we say men don't. This way they talk say men don't get emotion. Let me tell you, I think men get emotion pass.
They're more
But we're
emotional.
trained. We're trained to mask it. We mask our emotions. We mask them a lot of the time, right? Which is not nice, and it still boils down to this patriarchy thing, where a lot of us feel say they do right. Patriarchy is not just causing damage to women; it's causing damage to men as well. And that's
And
another story, another day.
Precious,
Yeah.
the thing you're saying, I wouldn't call them communication, right?
Okay.
I would call them gossip.
So
And
gossip is a form of what?
no, you should understand where I come from with active communication and active listening. And communication, like some people, okay, listening ears, right? If you do have, you are an active listener because you do social media. You can listen to somebody go on for hours on your platform and not interject, right?
Mhm.
That is active listening. A lot of partners don't have that patience anymore to listen to their partner, talk, like have active listening.
But they have active listening to listen to a side chick talk.
We are talking about communication. You are talking about, we are, so what I'm saying is, well, I wouldn't want to beat this up rather than I'm saying that what you're saying is gossip. Just like Toke decided to dissect what Sandra was saying when she was gossiping with her boyfriend, right? So it's gossip. And during gossip, people say a lot of things. People paint images. If you listen to what Sandra was telling Chike on the phone, she was gossiping and she was bloating her status. She can't afford me. Oh, she put me on blast. She did this, she did that. That is gossip.
Okay. So just a very quick one, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Is gossip a form of communication? Yes, it is a form of communication because it involves people sharing information, stories, or opinion about others. However, it is usually communication about someone who is not present. So it is sharing of information. Now, when a husband talks to a wife, you are sharing an information. I reciprocate. That is communication. Gossip. I'm talking to a friend. I'm talking to a side chick. I'm talking to Chike. I'm talking to anybody. We are sharing information. It is communication. So gossip is a form of communication. So if you're not able to gossip with your wife and you gossip with your side chick or Chike, tell me.
But that
You
is not, but
so
that is
there's
not, but that is not the type of communication I was talking about. All right.
no,
You're
you
talking
no, I,
about,
I know, I know,
you're
I know
talking
where you're
about,
coming from. However, I am saying if most men can put in energy to gossip with their wives as much as they do with others, it can help us. I understand that Doki we said how can you advise the men? So so when you say men don't know how to communicate, so I'm like, okay, let me put it this way. Not like they don't know how to communicate, but they choose who they want to communicate with.
well, like I said, men should work on their communication skills. Very much important.
Thank you,
Very, very,
Mazi.
very much important. Deep communication skills. There is a skill you possess in communication that,
Mm,
unravels or opens or layers
mm.
to a lot of things. So deep communication skills.
Thank you, Mazi. Thank you, Precious. You see, let me come from a different perspective. All these things, so they even talk about communication, communication, communication. A lot of people can communicate, but without comprehension, what are you communicating? If you're communicating and I'm not understanding the meaning, why? Why? What's the essence of this? If I can't comprehend, then communication sometimes could be void. Anyway, because of our time, Precious, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to put two questions in one. Okay? There's a lot of stigma around single mothers. Stigma. People they judge them a lot. The moment you say, even me, self, sometimes my reaction did like stigma. But it's not me stigmatizing, it's just me being like, oh Jesus Christ, not again. Right? Like if a sister comes here, you see a very beautiful girl, beautiful. How are you? What's your story? In under 10 seconds. Thank you, though, Kiwi. I'm a single mother of two and I'm 21. And I'll be like there's this, even though I know they stigmatize, but to some people it comes that way. There's this judgment, there's this stigma. So, how does this judgment from society affect single mothers? I'll talk about after this question. Then I have two more questions. Mazititi question, don't finish. I have two more. Maybe so we'll just take round up. But this is my last question specifically for you. How does this stigma and judgment from society affect these single mothers? And also, what message would you give to women currently raising children alone, knowing that they get the man will make them pregnant out there?
Okay. Okay, so I'll go with the first one. The stigma, how does it affect single mothers? Well, for people who were not raised, I'm sure we are in a patriarchal system, right? So most times there is something called it makes them see less of themselves. It makes them see themselves as second options, or let me say, fairly used women. So
Precious, sorry, I'm shipping in again. While you're talking, I made a video last year and I'll say it again. A lot of our sisters, they like there are a lot of things they start tolerating because they are now single mothers. And these are normal things that they won't tolerate. And I'd always tell my sisters, I know it has happened, but don't lower your standard because you're a single mother. Stop lowering your standard. What is bad is bad. Stop eating shit because you're a single mother. Continue, my sister.
all right, low self-esteem, and that is, this thing has destroyed a lot of people. So imagine a mother raising a boy child or a female child or children having low self-esteem. What are you expecting your children to be? So these are one of the things that has, shaped our society in a very bad way. So if the stigma can reduce, and funny enough, they stigmatize their own and then glorify others, probably because of color or anything. That is absolutely not good. So a single mother, they didn't make themselves single mothers. So if you can put a tag on them, do the same with a man. So I think it's not a fair judgment, a fair treatment on the ladies. However, they hear all of these things every day, yet open. So sometimes I can have empathy, sometimes I am not. Because something that has happened to you should not happen to you the next time. So those stigmas affect some people, not to people who have values. There are people who have made the first mistake, but it doesn't let them get to them. They understand that I have made this mistake. I choose whoever I am today, and I'm working with it. It doesn't touch them. But the children that we are raising today have gotten so much confidence in themselves that you cannot even shame them to be single mothers. You know why? This is why a lot of them are choosing to become single mothers themselves, because they have grown past that stigma, that stereotype, of the society. It is what they choose to be, what they want to become, because that is who they are. So I think the generation that we are coming into, or we are in now, is no longer, they're not asking, what are the society saying? What are the men saying? Oh, you will not get married. It is none of their business, because today, even without being a single mother, they have chosen not to get married. It's not a problem. Unlike when, the pressure is on them. So the stigma is still there, but I think they are growing out of it. Now, what is my advice to these young ladies, right? Keep your head high. Be confident. Place value on yourself and your body. Choose peace over pressure. Because if you have all of these in one package, you are not just going to be a queen, with her child, men will rush you. Because now men, they rush single women now. Trust me. Upgrade yourself in your career, your skills, upgrade yourself. Understand that whatever a man can do for you, you can do better for yourself. The society will embrace you. Odo Kiwi, thank you.
I say that this is the last question, but I just saw one where I need to ask Mazititi, the last one. Mazititi, do you think that the society is placing more pressure on fathers compared to mothers when raising children?
No, I don't even think society places enough pressures on fathers.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't think society places enough pressures on fathers.
They put so much on women.
Yeah, because already by default they already have this saying that children belongs to women.
Don't you
If
think this? Don't you
if
think
if
that
there is
this?
a civil if there is a civil suit, by
Yeah.
natural they would remove the kids from the men and give it to the women. Not like try to reinstate both,
Mm,
right? But they will remove the kids from the men and give it to the living one light to do whatever he wants to do and place a fee, right?
mm,
And place a fee, and that man can go on again and procreate. Do you understand? So you put a fee as a child support, and some people make this fee in a week. They make it in if they make that child support money in a week, they have the remaining 3 weeks to make their rent and make their flare and make their money for other activities. So yeah, so society already by default
mm,
puts that the narrative. If there are consequences, laws and consequences, like America have laws and consequences, right? If
mm,
there are laws and consequences leveled against men, you will see that men will do more.
mm,
So and the society already by default puts pressure, like, oh, okay,
on
it
women
is a woman's job to raise a
to
child.
raise children. Yeah. Mm, yeah.
So that's why you
Okay.
see that the women do more. And in most cases, they say you are like your mother. You are like this, you are like that. You find those statements a lot because of how the society has formed that narrative. How the society has formed that narrative. If the society formed the narrative that we made this is our core responsibility, not to
Mm,
push anything towards any, deflect it towards any particular way. So I think the law is flawed anyways.
mm.
I think the law is heavily flawed. Yeah, very important. The
Thank you,
law
Mazi.
is flawed.
Thank you, Mazi. Now this is my last question, and I'll just go straight to it. This question is about the children, all right? Because a lot of children too, they get stigma saying a single mother na him raise you. Even me, my mother no be single mother, but a lot of men they tell me saying a single mother raise kiwi. That's why they vex. And most of these people where they talk up, they don't know say I was raised around well love day. You can see person them, and yes, the irony of it. You see someone mocking me that I was raised by a single mother, but he they support C Ronaldo, he they support VDM, he they support Obama. Forget say these people too. Forget say these people too. A lot of them, the single mothers raised them. Anyway, now my last question goes to you, Precious. Then I will hear from Mazi. Precious, how can children from single parents, or how can children raised by a single mother, can be protected from this stigma? How can these children that are raised by a single mother be protected by that stigma? Where people they use stigmatize them. Shut up your mouth, not be single mother raise you. To the best of your knowledge, do you think there is any way we can protect children? Or is this something society needs to use their common sense and know that this child is innocent? It doesn't matter.
I think it is part of bully, and bully will always continue to exist. It's it's part of it's just bully. There's I don't what to the best of my knowledge, what can the society do to stop it? When grown adults has failed to be grown adults, because it is because of their lack of understanding. That is the reason why children. So I think one of the best way to stop it is when we can have peaceful co-parenting. Peaceful co-parenting can stop it. Yes. So we would not stay together, but we always attend school functions, birthday party. We are at peace with each other just because of our kids. Even if it means to pretend for their sake, we will do it. Yes. If not, it will continue and children will bully them. But if as grown adults you understand what bully, the effect it has on kids, you will know that you will have to bring down your pride, bring down the pain, the bitterness as a woman, as a man, put them aside and do what? Go into co-parenting with your kid, with the your partner, so you can raise better children. The children will grow knowing that two of you were together. I don't know if you get me. The children will grow up knowing that my parents were together. So probably in their adult age, they'll be like, oh, we didn't know our parents were separated because
Mm,
they turned up, they showed up, they cared. And so I
mm.
think peaceful
And
co-parenting is something
mm,
that can stop, and the society, it will help these children from being bullied.
thank you so much, Precious. Mazi,
Biko,
uh,
let me add, being a single mother does not mean you are a failure. As a matter of truth, I have seen a greater number of single mothers raise better children. You know why? Because they always want to prove a point. They always want to prove a point that these children were raised by them and they don't want these mistakes. I've seen children where both parents were present and those children are useless. The most important thing is, what are you feeding your kids with? What mindsets are you feeding your children with? If you're a single mother, you are hearing me, this is my last message to you. You are not a failure. If your back is on the ground, please rise. For the fact that you are from a poor background, from a weak background, does not mean that your back should always remain on the ground. Arise, stand, go get it. You are just a single mother, but your child, you also, you are a great person. Thank you so much, Odogu Kiri.
Mazi, before Mazi talk for comment section, there's something he said before
Thank you, guys.
about social media, this thing. I want to hear from those that are not married yet. Okay, this is including the brothers and the sisters. Be honest, too, because if you ask me, Omo, hey, I know my answer, but make I no give them out. As a guy here, you want to marry, and as a woman here, you want to marry. I beg, no verse. You go rather marry man. We did very less with all social media. As a man here want to marry, you go rather date with woman where they always see am for social media. As the social media said, they tell am she like real life outside real life, no be. I beg, I want to see on comment section. As a man here, if you marry woman, we be say every time on her phone. As a woman, if you marry man, we be say every time you dey for social media. I'm telling you, majority of the people here will say no, but all of us dey social media. No, Mazi, my brother. Um, or maybe if you get married tomorrow and you and your couple decide, say, please, let us reduce less social media, more reality of life, because there are beautiful things happening out there, and social media they make us we know they see them. A lot of you guys they subscribe for Netflix every month, but you end up watching only 3 movies because you too they come TikTok, you too
The
they
world is
come
digital.
Facebook, I'm telling you, too the what I'm not an exception. You subscribe for a lot of TV channels and all those things, but only three movies you manage to watch in a month, or series, because you're on the phone. Mazi, my brother, how can we protect children? Make them know, as in make them know feel like say coming from a single, being raised by a single mother, they already give them this crown of shame. Like, how can we protect them not to have that mindset, to the best of your knowledge?
Um, we have to raise children that are confident. We have to instill confidence. We have to make children understand that it is not their decision. It is not their choice. If they had a choice, probably they would have preferred to be born into other homes, right? So a child is born, the child needs to be raised in huge confidence to understand that the circumstance was not their fault. So the sins of their parents should not be transferred onto them because that is not their making. So raising confident children, educating children, I think education plays a key role in someone's confidence. So educating children goes a long way in raising their self-confidence and self-awareness. So instead of seeing that as a weakness, they turn that into their strength to excel in a lot of things. Confidence education overturns those stigmas. Because when you challenge someone who understands, who is confident, who is educated, they will carpet you with facts. Okay. So I think that is what society needs to aim. And if you have kids, if you're raising kids, you're a single parent, instill confidence in your children. Make them reiterate the words, I am confident, I am beautiful, I am
Mm,
smart, you know, my mommy loves me, my daddy loves me.
mm,
So you need to always reiterate that word every time, and the kids grow up with that.
thank you.
So
Thank you,
instead
Mazi.
of reminding the children,
Mm,
and instead of, it's hard, but instead of reminding the children of you put me in this situation,
mm,
because if you remember Eminem's story, right?
yeah.
Eminem's father left in 1971. He was just a year, 6 months at the time. So in 1971, the father left and the mother started taking care of him. So they moved from they moved from Missouri because he was born, he's from Missouri, right? They moved from St. Louis, Missouri to Michigan, Detroit. So the mother lived from trailer parks to trailer parks with different men. So the mother always, she then turned around and transferred that aggression into Eminem and said, you caused this because I had you. I cannot chase my dream because you came into my life. I cannot do anything. You became a responsibility I did not choose. Failing to understand that she chose to lay with the man, right? So she transferred so much hatred into Eminem, didn't
Mm,
support him, didn't encourage him as a son. Even when he keep getting kicked out of school because he could not stay in school, the mother kept using those words. Even when he
mm,
decided to go into music, the mother said his music career is dead. Then the mother lost her brother and then wished that it was Eminem that died.
mm,
So if you listen to Cleaning Out My Closet,
mm, yeah.
you're going to listen to those words in Cleaning Out My Closet.
Mm,
So and today look at their relationship, right? It's taking more than 20 years that trauma she had passed on to
Hmm.
Eminem. Eminem used the trauma. In fact, the mother even sued him at the time.
Hmm.
The mother sued him at a time. But because, Eminem is a child that's special, a lot of kids are not
Hmm.
special, right? And he
Hmm.
kept pushing and probably found grace. And when he found fame, and it cost him, and
Hmm.
it cost him because that's his father not being in his life, his mother not being in his life, also cost
Hmm.
him his childhood sweetheart, which is Kim. Kim is the mother of Haley. All right. So which is the Kim is the mother of Haley. So they married and they divorced. But he made a decision. He made a decision to break that chain.
Hmm.
He said, "This whole thing ends with me. I am going to be different." So Eminem raised Haley because he divorced with Kim, right?
Yeah.
Eminem raised Haley. And one of the different stories out of the what you call them the superstars of America, where you
Hmm.
see someone raise a child. Haley grew up, went to school, no scandal. She didn't even have a child at home. He raised Haley different. Haley's married now. In fact, she has a child now.
Hmm.
Do you understand? So Eminem said, "I am done." And he did a lot of music and apologized to his mother.
Hmm.
Haley is married and she has a child now. Eminem is a grandfather.
Hmm.
So that is some of the stories about how single parenting turns into
Hmm.
something, and one decides to say this chain ends now. So raising confident, educated children that are confident in their own skin, that do not
Hmm.
need a secondary validation,
Thank you, Mazi.
is very much important. It helps us
Thank you, Mazi.
grow. It helps the community better. Thank you.
Hmm. Thank you, Mazi. Lastly, there's something I want to chip in again. Maybe I didn't say it correctly because some people misunderstood. You know, when I talked about being on social media, there are reasons why you come on social media. All right, like there are. Let me use myself for example. If I come live stream, I know I'm coming here to make an impact. Might not even be financially. It could be the words from my mouth or how we listen to people. Because to be honest, listening to people is giving them part of your life. Right. So if you come on social media, depending on the kind of platform you go to, because Maz, as I'm talking to you, you get people where they cook now and they listen to us. They are not bad. They just come here to listen to story. You get people where they listen to us now. They day for kitchen, they cut cabbage. Some day toilet, they shower. You get person where they shower. I can see you, my sister, in the shower. You get some people where they do a lot of things. So it depends on where you I just come to, I'm just here to listen to people share their story. I'm just here to give my own opinion. I'm not talking about those who be say omo every like lousy places. Like you get where they see me for live stream. If I know they're my place, I did not precious life I dey go because I hear people share stories that I can resonate with. Not be everywhere you go see me. Not be everywhere you go see me. And now lastly, let me just give a few feedback. Precious, for a woman, I really like your boldness, to be honest. For a woman, I like your boldness, and that's why I decided to have this topic with you.
Thank
And
you.
for you, Mazi TT, for a man, I like your calmness, brother. I like your calmness. And I really appreciate you guys for coming. And I want to be doing something like this once in a month. So we talk about other things. Because if it's all about just giving, empowering, and not creating awarenesses like this, then what are we doing? Thank you so much for coming to my platform. I really appreciate it. I loved it so much. And a lot of people were engaging. Some people were not understanding. Some people came for war. Some came for peace. Some came to listen. Some came to screen record something that will use against you. And but in a nutshell, dibia na agba afa, ị na-agba uche gị. Take what you want to take and throw away the rest. Thank you, Precious. Thank you, Mazitite.
Odowokiri, I'm sorry, please. Can you just give me it? This life will be incomplete if I don't give thanks to the people who thanks no Biko ni Biko. To Mazititi, to Odogu Kiwi, I want to say thank you so much for having me. I want to say thank you, Mazititi. So when I called you, he said, "Why you call? I'm coming right away." I love that. Thank you so much for always believing in me. God bless you. To my squad, to my people, they stayed awake for me. They say Jebe, even when they first live. In fact, I just came to the box and it was as if it was a box game. I want to say I love you guys from the depth of my heart. Precious Life Affairs family. Like we small, but we know small. Thank you so much, Neka. Thank you very much. Masa, Neka, Divine D, all of you guys. I want to say I love you guys from the depth of my heart. We'll go see on the other side. Thank you.
Women they support women. No. See as me and Mazi dey here, our coins no reach 5 pa. Even the 4 pa self now women give us.
I forgot Adachukum, hey, my baby, my own daughter. Hey.
And now wetin the best people say this our same brothers now. If they go one live stream now, see one girl will open cleavage, they go give a lion.
Now them they enable all the rubbish now. Anyways, Odogu, thank you so much. Actually,
Welcome,
Precious called
Mazi.
me a few days ago, and the moment she said Odogu platform, I said I'll be there. The time
Thank you, bro.
difference wouldn't change anything.
Thank you, brother.
This wasn't a banter. I don't know how your audience perceive mine. I'm not here to start bantering men and women, right? I'm not here to start. There is so much smoke in the fire already. I don't want to stroke egos. I don't want to, banter anybody. Building a better nation where all of us can live, building a better society where all of us can live. We must not always have to be on platforms and, even if I want to have a banter conversation, it's not with Precious. I can never do mass boosts with, and it definitely will not be on this platform. So I don't know, a lot of your audience came here expecting fire for fire.
That's why I said I
They
like your
want to spill their
calmness.
blood. So it's
I'm
very much
authority.
important that we understand that we're coming from perspectives and general perspective, and it's
And we can always agree to disagree. Everything no be thunder but boogie. Thank you.
fact. So thank you so much for having me, Precious. Thank you so much for this opportunity. Udogu, your brother, we've been here a long time and we've
Yeah, my
done
guy.
this. One love, yeah.
Thank you. One
Thank you
love.
so
Oh yeah,
much.
Precious Jisenike.
Bye. Kedu ta sapu butum.